Rescue 8, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
On this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we get the opportunity to meet the newest chief, Chief Matt McAreavey. We tag along with Station 9 C Shift as they do some hands-on training, and we meet a couple of the new cadets out at the Fire Training Center. All on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. So we're out here at Fire Training with our newest Cadet Academy. We had 14 new cadets start with us 5 weeks ago, and I'm here with Cadet Natalie Van Wy. Welcome.
Thank you.
Natalie, 5 weeks in, what all have you been doing so far?
Well, today, week 5, we're doing peaked and flat roof ventilation. Prior to this, we worked on forcible entry, just donning our PPE. And like the first 2 weeks, we were in classroom most of the time. Now we're usually spending half the week outside, half the week in classroom.
So it's nice to get outside.
Yes, especially as it gets warmer.
As it gets warmer. It was pretty cold here for a couple of days.
Yeah.
With that, had you had any experience prior to getting on with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue?
No, I've had no prior fire experience. Before this, I was just personal training, teaching yoga, group fitness.
Okay, so what do you think so far?
I love it. I'm so glad to be out here. It's my dream job. Been planning on this since I was a junior in high school, and to get out here, it's surreal.
I know, I think it was 3 years ago you sat down and talked about it and asked me questions about how to get on and different things like that. So it's nice to see it all come true.
Together.
Yeah, exactly. So enjoying what you're doing, learning a lot, the hands-on, anything unexpected there?
Well, I've had no prior experience with power tools and anything like that. So this week we're doing a lot of the chainsaw and the K12 out here, and I've never touched any of that. And there's a lot of little things. When I saw my dad running that stuff, I don't think about it until you're up on the roof.
Yep, and going well though.
Yes.
Getting the hang of it, no issues.
No, well, some issues.
It's
a learning curve.
Yes, okay. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Canton, South Dakota, so not too far from here, and drive up here every day.
All right, and I guess one question for you. What kind of advice would you give to any females that are interested in getting into the fire service?
Well, all females can do this. I don't want any female to think, oh, I'm not big enough or strong enough, because I'm one of the smallest ones out here, and I think I'm tough. I'm out here doing it just like they are, and I have some struggles, but you learn to adapt, and they have it all said and done before, so I don't know why females can't do it now.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to training, and we'll see you around. All right, I'm here with another one of our cadet firefighters. This is Jerron Harris. He's got kind of an interesting story. His dad was my first training officer when I started on the department 19 years ago. So Jerron's dad's a retired firefighter for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, and it's great to have the next generation.
Yeah, well, I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Welcome, and we're glad you're here too. So you guys are 5 weeks into this. How's it going so far?
It's going great.
Great.
It's we're getting to do a lot of cool stuff and setting up ladders and cutting stuff and.
Yep, I can hear the saws in the background, so it's a busy day for us. Finally getting outside for some hands-on training. You spent the first couple of weeks inside with a lot of classroom studying, ready for the hands-on, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of paperwork and stuff, but now that we're outside, it's having a blast. Good weather too. Yeah, the weather's definitely getting better for us. We're all thinking spring right now, so that's good. Where are you originally from? Here in Sioux Falls, correct? Yes, born and raised here in Sioux Falls. Okay, been living around here for the past couple years? Yeah, I've only moved away shortly, like half a year, but other than that, I've been here. Here in Sioux Falls, so that's always nice to have a born and raised Sioux Falls individual on fire rescue. So growing up, watching your dad, you always wanted to be a firefighter? Yeah, he'd always have cool stories and showing me different things that he learned around the house. And So what was kind of the path that brought you here? Well, I kind of was getting older, and I knew I wanted to get into a nice career. So I joined Split Rock Fire Department, and then I got my EMT through them, and just been applying multiple times, and finally got on. Came through, and now we're heading in that direction, correct? Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, and I'll let you get back to training. All right, thank you. Thanks, John. All right, so on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, I get the honor and privilege of introducing you to our newest fire chief, Matt McAreavey. Chief, welcome.
Thank you much. It's an honor to be here.
So one of the things I'm going to do here is just kind of pick your brain on where you're looking to go with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue and some of the ideas you have. Start off, how long have you been with the department?
Coming right up on 19 years.
19 years, yes. You and I started together in 2002. So
Seems like a long time ago.
But short time ago. It's flying by.
Yes.
So as the new chief, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to? What are some of your grand ideas? Let's pick your brain a little.
Well, probably the easiest part of this is joining such a great organization that's already doing so much and serving so well that I don't know if there's any grand scheme there to increase service a ton, but what we do really well is that we provide that just incredible experience to all of our customers. So, and it doesn't matter if we're out there on an EMS call or if we're installing smoke detectors, looking at car seat checks. It's really how do we interact with that customer and give them the absolute best experience. There are a few programs that we're looking at incorporating. Have already been in the works. Looking at how do we increase our response to water rescue calls. There's also merging with Sioux Falls PD with their drone program and how we can incorporate that into what we already do to do it even better.
So responding to water rescue calls, what type of program are you looking to expand? Are we looking to expand with that?
One area that we've seen that we think that we could do better is just through dive programs. So we're exploring what that would mean for our community. You know, as we continue to grow in geographical boundaries, we continue to get more water, ponds and stuff like that. So we just look at there's a risk there that currently we think that we need to serve better.
So we're opening Fire Station 12, and I know with the city growing, the square miles and all that kind of stuff, what are we possibly looking at for future fire station growth?
Yeah, so this year it is in the capital plan for us to look at purchasing land for a Station 13. So, you know, it's quite the process to open a station, get everything in line with that. So the first step that we typically do is we go through and we work with all the other city agencies and departments and look at where's that next growth area going to be. And then the first step in that process is to purchase land. So we are in that process presently.
It's an extremely data-driven process to figure out where that next station needs to go. And with data, accreditation, it's an important thing for our organization. It's something we hold and we strive to continue to hold is our accreditation. Future with that, any changes?
Correct. No, we just went through a site visit, which is a big process that we go through every 5 years to make sure that we're meeting all of our standards that we promise to meet. We bring in a team that goes through and makes sure that the numbers that we're publishing are accurate and they are where they need to be. So we've been through that. We continue to strive to, every year we look at where our benchmark is today, and then we look at where do we want to be in the future and make sure that we meet that service. So we're going to continue to press on and deliver great service throughout the entire geographic area.
So it's a good third-party validation of the services that we provide to Sioux Falls.
Very much so. It's I think most people would be really inspired to see the level of detail that we go through to make sure what our risks are and then what we're doing to provide that, to cover that risk, and then are we doing it better, and then how can we always improve.
Yep, and ISO, our ISO rating of 1, extremely important for not only homeowners but business individuals. Continuing on with that, correct?
Absolutely. You know, it's one of our missions is to keep that. It's something that now we've gotten to the top of that to provide the absolute best coverage that we can, and it's an absolute goal that we maintain that.
So with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, it's a great high organization. We're just looking to keep pushing it up and pushing it up, correct?
It is. You know, this year's been difficult for everybody, you know, with the pandemic. The fire service is no different than anything. That change can be difficult. The level of adaptation and change that our members have had to go throughout this year with PPE change, shortages, adaptation, like how many people we send into a call, has really been stressful. So it's really, this is going to be a time our people are going through, we're getting vaccinated, we're getting to a point that hopefully we can move past this pandemic and serve the way that we have. So it's going to be a chance to really focus on what we do great, really just take a second, catch our breath, and then get out there and see how we can serve even better.
So I know one of the big things going on with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, Sioux Falls Police, and Metro Communications is the the new public safety campus that's going to be built. Can you give us a little indication on where we're at with that?
Yeah, so we presently just signed off with the architects on what the design of that looks like. They're working on drafting the documents so we can go out to contractors and see what's it going to take to build this facility. It's really exciting to see what the expertise that they've brought to it and the possibilities of what we're going to get to do in the future at that site.
It's going to be a fun thing to watch be built, come up, and get into use by our people. It's going to be a great thing for us. For
sure.
And I guess one last question for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, hobbies, what makes you tick?
I guess the way I led into my first interview with Sioux Falls Fire was I consider myself a farm boy with a college education. So I never got too far from home. I grew up just north of Sioux Falls, actually just 1.5 miles from the Amazon building that is coming up as we speak. So that's interesting. Went to Augustana College here in town, met my sweetheart there. We've been married now 16 years, 4 small kids, and my hobbies right now are their hobbies. So as they're in football, I'm in football, and when they're in soccer, I'm in soccer. So we're gearing up now for some Pinewood derbies, and looking forward to that adventure, and just whatever they're into is really my passion right now.
As you know, it goes quick, so spend the time you can with them when you can.
I'm trying.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chief. I appreciate it, and I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you much.
Thank you. I'm here with Captain John Ridge. He's the captain on the crew at Station 9 on C shift. They're out here doing some training at South Colville. A couple of houses that the city has that we're going to be tearing down here, so we get the opportunity, our firefighters get the opportunity to come out and do some live training in them, do some breaching, breaking, different things like that. So Captain Ridge, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And talking. Tell me a little bit about what all you're doing here today.
Today we're going to be training on these 2 houses. We're going to deploy some hose lines. We're going to simulate a fire in the basement. We're going to search, simulate putting out the fire, and hopefully we'll breach some walls and pull some ceilings as well.
So when you get a house like this that you can go into, it's a really good thing because you don't really know the layouts. You kind of just go in, you work through it, and it's a good experience for the firefighters. Explain that a little bit. How's that working best for us?
Well, not knowing the layout of the structure helps us learn how to search more effectively, efficiently, and faster. When you're dealing with older houses, sometimes you got really steep stairs, so practicing going up and down those can be challenging. The walls are different than a modern house, so they're sometimes plaster, sometimes really thick walls, so breaching those. Pulling the ceilings, they got a different type of insulation in these type of houses, so that creates a little bit different environment for us.
It makes it all real life.
It does, minus the fire.
I was going to say, the only thing you're missing is the fire and the smoke.
Correct.
So, and you said you're going to be pulling some hoses, you'll charge some lines, that makes it difficult to pull through a house around the corners, bends, things like that. What's the firefighter going to expect with that?
Well, it makes it more difficult using a charge line as opposed to just a flat line. It makes it more real for when they actually have a structure fire, because those hose lines get hung up all the time. So you got to be aware of where you're getting hung up and make sure you're addressing those issues.
Okay. So, like you talked about the walls. You're going to do some breaching of the walls, going through them, checking them out, seeing plaster, different things like that.
This gives us a good opportunity to see how some of the older homes are built, how they're different than the newer homes. The newer homes just have sheetrock. That's usually pretty easy to penetrate. The older homes have different types. They got lath and plaster are really thick, similar to drywall, but it's much thicker and harder to punch through sometimes.
So when you have a house like this that you can train in, I know it's really valuable to you. How's it differ from being out at the training center?
Well, these are unknown. The ones at the training center, we've been through those hundreds and hundreds of times, so we can do those practically in our sleep unless they change something up. With these, everything's different. The closets, the bathrooms, the doors, everything's varied. The steps, much steeper, different type of step.
So it's all new?
It's new. It's fresh.
Good. Thank you.
You bet.
We're out here today at Station 5, and I'm with firefighter Nate Buys. He was in our Fire Instructor 2 class, and one of the things in that class is you have to come up with a project of how to instruct to the masses of our department, I guess is a good way to put it. And the project he came up with was a mobile SCBA confidence course. Nate, welcome, and I'm going to grab this thing here on how you started with, and just kind of explain to me what you worked off of.
Yep. Well, it started with an idea from Captain Lowe, who commandeered the trailer from the old firehouse trailer, and he thought we could build it into a mobile prop. So then from there I built this scale model of what we see behind us. So that's the bottom of the maze, and then this is the rest of it, just to make sure it functioned before we got too deep into the build. So that's why there's a cardboard model of it, and then we moved on to building it. So.
And I'm sure this cardboard model is kind of a good secret. We don't want everybody to see how the maze truly is, correct?
Well, that's part of the misconception, actually. We do want people to go through there and understand it a little bit.
Yep.
And start at their level of comfort, but then build themselves up to where they can go through the same maze with full PPE, SCBA on air, and not have any problems with that tighter space.
All right, and then in addition to the confidence course, there's a few other items that you have built into it too. What are they?
Yep, so down the hallway here we have an entanglement course that we can slide out and use. In the front there's a hose pulling bed, and then in front of that there's also building construction materials that you'll be able to take out, and there'll be a PowerPoint on Target Solutions that they can do that. And then this door has a window that opens up, and we can do bailouts or VES or dream up your own scenario and use the trailer however you choose.
Bailouts, what do you mean by a bailout?
So if you're in a house and something goes wrong and you need to get out, you're going to go out a window that hopefully your RIC team has a ladder set up, so you need to be proficient at that skill. So you'll come out this window, down a ladder safely. So this is a controlled environment where you can practice those skills.
And being a mobile prop, we can take this from station to station to station, and the crews can use it while they're in their station and in their territories. If they get a call, they can just get ready, take off, go to their call, and such.
Yep, it fits our response model great of keeping people placed where the city wants them for quick response times. So if it can move, it can also be dropped, and they can go and come back and pick it up over the next day or hitch or whatever they need.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much, and I'll let you get back to work.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. If you'd like to learn more about Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, go to siouxfalls.org/fire. And I'd like to say a special thanks to Northern Plains Lumber in Worthing and Beersford for donating all the lumber that was used to build the portable prop for the SCBA Confidence Course. We'll see you next time on Sioux Falls Fire.